6 years ago, UConn professor Jennifer Bruning and a small group of her students began volunteering with young children in the north end of Hartford. Sports served as a vehicle for an initial common bond between UConn volunteers and the Hartford youth.
It wasn't necessarily about sports, but it was about the types of lessons that we would learn through sports. So how to treat people well, how to work together, how to resolve conflict peacefully, and then we would play. And there would always be some nutrition component, a snack or a meal. There would be a life skills lesson, taking the things that all of us had learned through sport in our lives and try to have them connect it with what they were experiencing in their lives.
Starting with a few Saturdays a semester at the Hartford Catholic Worker and Parker Memorial Center, the activity level grew. Soon, UConn students began developing deeper and more sustained relationships with the Hartford youth.
We realized that we could do more. We weren't in the kids' lives during the day, and that's where the school piece came in at Clark Elementary, which is where most of the kids from the Catholic Worker House or from Parker were going. And the reading piece was obviously the greatest need in the school. It was the need that the UConn students could assist with most readily. All of them could sit and read with the kids, could take small groups of kids to read. And so that's where Read and Raise was born.
The program caught on quickly, and the results have been impressive.
The Read and Raise initiative took off. The first year, we asked the kids to read 10,000 books, no problem. The second year, we said, okay, 10,000 books, and now we're going to add 2 more schools, and you're going to challenge each other. So Wish School and Martin Luther King School came on board.
This year's Read and Raise initiative has upped the ante, asking each school to read 15,000 books. At the center of it all are 3 key goals: the continued formation of positive relationships, a consistent UConn College student presence, and the assistance of literacy skill building. Positive relationships are formed through the collaborative partnerships that have been built among students, families, teachers, and staff within the Hartford and UConn communities. These relationships are spread over 4 Hartford schools: Clark, MLK, Sand, and Wish, and encompass more than 2,000 Hartford students and their families, along with more than 200 teachers and staff.
The Husky Sport staff members have done a great job so far of kind of building relationships and making that a part of our mission, to form right relationships not only with students and staff at UConn, but also with other external groups at UConn and then groups in the Hartford community.
What most excites me about Husky Sport is the reciprocity of the relationship. So it's not just coming here and bestowing things on the kids or the teens especially, but it's the back and forth learning that takes place. So I'm able to learn just as much about me as I am about them.
It's the way that we approach what we're doing. It's not we're coming in here and trying to save people. It's we're coming to Hartford and we're going to try to learn about the people here and what they like to do, and we want to build relationships. It's not a charity relationship. It's a true person-to-person relationship.
It's one person pouring into the life of somebody else with the understanding that they're going to pour back into your life, and then you're both going to pour into somebody else's lives, and eventually you're going to have cups overflowing.
Husky Sport has committed to providing a consistent UConn College student presence within all 4 schools. Throughout the spring semester, roughly 300 UConn students and staff will log more than 2,500 hours volunteering with Hartford students, teachers, staff, and family members. Their visits will include reading, completing Read and Raise worksheets with the students, and regular check-ins with teachers and staff. This consistent UConn presence is vital to the program's continued success.
These kids are going to see familiar faces, and they're going to have people who say, hey, how'd you do in school today? How many books are you reading for Read and Raise? And how's your mom doing? How's your little sister doing? And that kind of a connection can make a huge difference in kids staying at the same school and succeeding in the same school, as well as starting to bring the families in more and more.
Building on the first 2 goals is the program's 3rd key goal: improving the literacy skills of every child involved. Building positive relationships with students and providing a consistent in-school college student presence are foundational to its success. Over the 5-month initiative, Hartford students will complete more than 60,000 quality books and curriculum-driven worksheets. Student progress is encouraged by a variety of incentives, including extra gym and recess time, nutritious pizza parties, and even field trips to the top readers. However, for most, The fun of working with UConn students is incentive enough, and apparently the feeling is mutual.
The best part about Read and Raise is seeing how excited the kids get when they have the opportunity to read books, to get rewards for it, and to be recognized for the work and the hard work that they put into it. We were also able to not just promote reading, but also promote physical activity in the schools by going to the gym, putting on different clinics, and just kind of bridging the two together. So again, using sport as a vehicle to promote literacy.
The relationship with Husky Sport, with the community of Hartford, is great. Seems like the school system and all the students are really into it with the Read and Raise program. It's a great thing for the study.
And the Read and Raise program is showing some tangible results.
We're starting to see some jumps in the Connecticut mastery tests at these schools because they're getting obviously all of the reading that their teachers are providing for them, but then they're also getting all the extra incentive and the time spent with the UConn students, and they're very excited about it. So they're getting the reading coming at them from all sides, and it's really starting to make a difference.
It would be somewhat unfair to ask young children to provide financial donations. So instead, the Hartford students work diligently to complete thousands of books and worksheets to support both themselves and their community. Then, throughout this 5-month initiative, the involved families, teachers, staff, and college students will work to generate donations within their own personal and social networks. By showcasing the amazing reading efforts of the children, the supportive UConn student presence, and the ongoing cooperation of so many people within the City of Hartford and UConn communities, the Read and Raise initiative provides an opportunity for generous and caring individuals to support a structured and successful collaboration. The thousands of dollars raised during the first 2 years of the Read and Raise initiative have benefited Emeka Okafor's 1 Million African Lives initiative, which is geared towards combating the spread of HIV/AIDS and malaria in sub-Saharan Africa. This gift was Husky Sport and the Hartford community's way of repaying Emeka for his valued generosity and support of our partnerships.
We're really happy with our relationship with 1 Million African Lives. It's still something that we're going to be heavily involved in, but we feel like it's time for the contributions to come back to the neighborhood and work for the kids and their families.
As the focus of this year's fundraising turns to Hartford, Read and Raise looks to support an ongoing effort to replicate the Harlem Children's Zone model within the city of Hartford. This innovative approach centers on holistic community engagement through an interlocking set of educational, health-related, economic development, and social support services. Children and adults are supported from their prenatal and cradle years through to their college education and career development. It is the ultimate in community building based upon support, cooperation, hard work, and opportunity.
I think that what Jeffrey Canada is doing with the Harlem Children's Zone is quite impressive, and I think that if we could even replicate just a small part of that here, it would really benefit the neighborhood, the parents in the neighborhood, the students in the neighborhood.
You hear great things that they're doing and how much they reach out to the kids and how many people they reach out to. There's thousands of kids they reach out to. So if we can implement that here in Hartford, that would be amazing.
I think it's something that can definitely happen with the relationships that we've already created in the last few years in Hartford. And I think that finding ways to provide wraparound services for kids who may not have the ability to get those services themselves on their own is pretty awesome, pretty cool.
And it all goes back to that original vision.
From the very beginning, I was determined that what Husky Sport was going to be about was to spend time, and there's been a very purposeful intent there as far as we're going to stay in the same 6-block area, and we're just going to be there more often. We're going to be there at different days, different times of the day, and basically become part of the neighborhood. So it's not a question of how big, it's a question of how intense. And everyone knows everybody's name, and everybody knows something about each other's lives, and that's what really makes for a right relationship. And that definitely is at the forefront in every thought that we have as far as what Husky Sport is going to do next or where to go from here.